Imagine a world where transactions are completed without the need for a central authority, where trust is not based on an institution or a single person, but on mathematics, transparency, and a shared network. At the heart of this transformation lies blockchain technology, a revolutionary concept that has the potential to reshape how we store data, transfer value, and interact in the digital age. To understand blockchain, let's start with the basics. At its simplest, a blockchain is a digital ledger, a record book, but instead of being kept in a safe or behind closed doors, it is shared across a network of computers. Every time a transaction is made, it is recorded on this ledger, and everyone in the network can see it. What makes blockchain special is how it stores and secures this data. The name blockchain comes from the way information is stored. Data is grouped together in blocks. Each block contains a list of transactions, a timestamp, and a unique code called a cryptographic hash. This hash is essentially a digital fingerprint, uniquely identifying each block and its contents. When a block is full, it is attached to the end of the previous block, forming a chain, a blockchain. Each new block also contains the hash of the previous block, linking them together in a sequence that cannot be tampered with easily. But why is this important? In traditional databases, a central authority, like a bank or a government, controls the records. They can edit, change, or even erase data. With blockchain, no single person or entity is in control. Instead, the ledger is distributed across thousands or even millions of computers around the world, known as nodes. Every node has a copy of the blockchain, and they all work together to verify and agree on each transaction. This is called a decentralized system. Decentralization is key to blockchain's appeal. It means that no one can alter the records without the agreement of the majority of the network. If someone wanted to hack or change a transaction, they would have to change every copy of the blockchain on every node in the network at the exact same time, a feat that is practically impossible. This makes blockchain incredibly secure. Another crucial aspect of blockchain is transparency. All transactions on a public blockchain are visible to anyone. Anyone can verify the details for themselves, which builds trust in the system. Privacy is still protected, however, because instead of using real names, transactions are recorded using unique digital addresses. So, how does a transaction get added to the blockchain? Let's walk through the process. Suppose Alice wants to send some digital currency, like Bitcoin, to Bob. She initiates the transaction, which is then broadcast to the entire network. The network of nodes checks Alice's balance, making sure she has enough funds, and verifies the transaction using a process called consensus. Consensus is the way the network agrees that a transaction is valid. There are different ways to reach consensus, but the most common is called proof of work. In proof of work, nodes known as miners compete to solve a complex mathematical puzzle. The first miner to solve it gets the right to add the new block of transactions to the blockchain. This process is what keeps the network secure and honest. Other consensus mechanisms, like proof of stake, use different methods to achieve the same result, often with less energy usage. Once consensus is reached, the new block is added to the blockchain, and the transaction is complete. The ledger updates across the entire network, and the record is permanent, forever etched into the blockchain. Blockchain technology was first introduced in 2008 by an unknown person or group using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Its first and most famous application was Bitcoin, a digital currency that allows people to send value directly to one another without a bank or payment company. Since then, blockchain has found uses far beyond cryptocurrencies. Today, blockchains are being used for everything from tracking the journey of food from farm to table, to verifying the authenticity of diamonds, to managing digital identities, and even enabling secure voting systems. In the world of finance, blockchain promises faster, cheaper, and safer transactions, especially across international borders. In supply chains, it brings transparency and accountability, enabling companies and consumers to verify where goods come from and how they were produced. One of the most exciting developments is the rise of smart contracts. These are self-executing agreements written in code that automatically carry out the terms of a contract when certain conditions are met. For example, a smart contract could automatically release payment when a shipment arrives, or transfer ownership of a digital asset when a buyer pays the agreed price. This automation reduces the need for intermediaries and cuts down on errors and fraud. But blockchain is not without its challenges. Scaling up to handle thousands or millions of transactions per second is still a work in progress. Some blockchains, especially those using proof of work, use significant amounts of energy. And while the technology is secure, the applications built on top of it can still be vulnerable if not designed carefully. There are also questions about regulation, privacy, and how blockchain should fit into existing legal and social frameworks. As with any new technology, it will take time for these issues to be worked out, but the potential is enormous. At its core, blockchain is about trust. By removing the need for a central authority, it allows people and organizations to interact directly, with confidence that the record of their transactions is accurate, secure, and transparent. It is a foundational technology, like the internet, with the power to change not just how we handle money, but how we manage information, collaborate, and create value in the digital world. Blockchain's journey is still in its early days. As more people, businesses, and governments begin to explore its possibilities, new applications and innovations are emerging every day. Whether it's transforming industries or empowering individuals with greater control over their data, blockchain technology is set to play a central role in shaping the future. In summary, blockchain technology is a decentralized, secure, and transparent way to record and share information. It enables trust without the need for intermediaries, and its potential reaches far beyond digital currencies. As the technology continues to evolve, it promises to open up new opportunities, solve complex problems, and usher in a new era of digital innovation.